Okay, everybody. Good evening or good afternoon. Oh my goodness, I want to have fun with this thing. I don't want to with me talking on Facebook. I don't want to be too rigid. I want to have fun with it and so that you guys can see the authenticity behind it because I don't want to be so perfect and all before I start off. So don't mind the cloth behind. I'm in my room. So we're going to do room conversations. So I'm not feeling too well, but I wanted to do this because um, things like this, you need to look past yourself to be able to do them. So I'm just going to drop my fan over here and then I'll start. Okay, so thank you all for really tuning in to my previous talk on sexual abuse. I'm really grateful. Thank you. I'm so grateful. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for tuning in. But um, this is a serious issue that I take really seriously. More than me coming up here to show my face and to discourse, I take it really seriously because lives are getting affected. Lives are getting affected, and lives being affected is not a put on my phone and record a video and talk kind of situation. It's more deeper than that. It's I don't know how to put it, but it's really serious. And you don't know who you're speaking to. You don't know who would tune in. You don't know who would want to listen to what you have to say. You don't even know who is hanging on by a thread. And the person is just scrolling and scrolling, and the person comes across your video. So you need to be very, very, very um, intentional, serious, sincere about these things. I don't know it all, but I know for sure that I have sincerity towards these topics that I'm discussing on. So we're gonna talk part two. Sorry. Okay, so I had to pause this for a while. So I'm gonna be talking on sexual abuse with regards to men and boys because I talked about the girl thing. And thank you to the comment section. Someone pointed out that even boys experience it. And I thought to myself, that's true. That's very true. In fact, men don't really talk about their problems like that. Even if they do, it's not really publicized in a sense as women's issues are publicized. So I'm going to try my best to highlight it in such a way that it's I hope my audio is fine because I'm using my earpiece. I'm going to highlight it and try as much as possible to highlight it with the little knowledge I have to speak to our men. I mean, I'm in no position to do so, but I feel like I should at least throw more light into this area. Now, um, we have so many men, so many young boys addicted to pornography, into the fornication thing, and into the sexting, basically, in case you don't know what fornication is. And so many of them, many a times, don't know who to talk to or really express the kind of gravity of what they are dealing with because the culture has highlighted um, has pushed this sex thing. We see it in the music videos, we see it in we see it in even the friendships. The friendships around most of the guys, they are into this sex thing. They are into looking at the lady, um, not with pure. I'm not going to generalize this thing, but I'm just going to specify it with a few groups. Not all guys, basically, but basically, some friend groups don't see ladies or women or girls in a more decent light. It's almost like they see girls through the lens of their body, their shape, their size, their height. So everything is basically lust based. Everything is basically sex based. The songs we listen to are also highlighting the shape of the girl. The videos we watch are also highlighting the shape, the the bum. I'm sorry, I'm being vulgar, but I have to say these things. The bum, the front, the back, and all these things. And so our culture, our society, even the world at large has highlighted this thing of it has to be lust based. I must get you to see her through the lost lens. I must get you to see her through that lens. You don't have to see her through any lens. You don't have to see her for her integrity. You don't have to see her for um, being a damsel, a daughter of the Most High. You don't have to see her for the potential she has. You just have to see her through that lost lens. As long as she's fine, she has a fine face, and she has a fine shape and all these things. So everything is basically pointed like that. And so most young boys growing up, they form association with these guys, and they don't. There's not really a sense of direction. Nobody is there. That's the reason why I highlight many times that we need more father figures that understand the importance of responsibility, that understand fathers that are not just fathers with quote unquote, I gave birth to a child. Fathers that understand what it means to have a relationship with their son. Fathers that understand what it means to be there physically, emotionally, spiritually, all round. Fathers that know how to teach their sons how to see a lady. Fathers that, if their sons are struggling with pornography, masturbation, and sex, fathers that create an environment for the son to be able to come up to the father and say, you know what, daddy, I'm dealing with this and I need you to help. And the father responds with compassion, responds with seriousness, responds with intentionality, and not scolding and judging you and ridiculing you and making sure your self-esteem is zero. We need fathers. But that's not the conversation. The conversation right now is on boys that are also sexually abused. Now, many times we don't talk about this thing much, but there are so many guys that have pure intentions. They see ladies very much so for their potentials and their integrity and everything. Many of them were not taught that. They just grew up with that resilience in them not to have any sexual interactions with women. But for some reason, a girl comes into their lives and introduces them to this sex thing. It cannot be even penetration. It can be as simple as I won't even say it's simple. It can be a minor incident. Oh, why are you not holding my hand now? Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? Like that's with the boy wants to sort of please the lady, and then he's sucked into this thing called sexual abuse. Sometimes sexual abuse is not forceful. We have this mindset that sexual abuse is always forceful. It is, but not in all scenarios. It is not a rape kind of situation. It can be minor, it can be subtle, little by little by little by little. Before you know, you find yourself in that world. And so now the guy deals with let me off this fan. The guy finished dealing with this lady, and then someone that was innocent and pure without any sexual intentions, he finds himself after dealing with this lady he's all of a sudden sexually awakened, sexually perverted. And then the relationship ends, and then he's left alone to deal with the excesses, the problems that the girl has left in his life, which is sexual awakeness. Let me give another case scenario. I hope I'm being understood. The guys will understand what I'm saying because I made sure that I didn't prep before this, but I'm trying to scrap my head very well with the information I have. Second incident, you leave a boy with a housemaid at home, maybe a house girl, and then it might not even be a house girl, it might be someone very close in the household. It might be a family member, it might be a house girl, it might be someone familiar. It might even be an uncle. And the uncle is talking about sex casually. The uncle is quote unquote, you're a guy man now, you're supposed to know these things. It can even be your friend, your guy friend. And the guy friend is hanging around this innocent guy talking about sex casually, vulgarly, without no restraint, just blurring it out. And he leaves inquisitiveness in the innocent guy, and he's like, isn't that my friend is talking about sex so casually? Maybe I should really explore that side. And before you know, he finds himself in this sexual world. We have other scenarios where house girls will literally touch, house girls that come to stay with people in their household just to take care of the children and to take care of the household and to help the mother, quote unquote. And then the house help will literally sexually abuse the boy child. This part is extremely painful for me because so many boys don't speak up, because who is going to listen? Who is going to understand? Who is going to see them struggling in this sex world, and who is going to provide solution? Who? And then the house girl molested the boy, and then the boy is left perverted, sexually harassed, sexually abused, and introduced to this sex world. And so now he cannot see girls from a pure lens. He has to see them from that lens, from that sexual lens. And then we have scenarios where peer pressure, associations with people. Innocent guy has values, has principles. And then his guy friends, I think I highlighted this before, but I'll just highlight it again. And then his guy, 30 minutes already. Wow, I don't want this to be long, but I'm just going to try to rush through it. His guy friends are busy doing what they do with girls. And they're like, why are you not into this world with us? You need to tag along with us and see this girl the way we're seeing girls. You can't be innocent. You have to explore. Life is all about exploring. Life is all about, just enjoy yourselves. You know, and then he's influenced by this peer pressure. And then he enters into this world of sex. And then we also have our movies, our songs, the movies we watch, how they express this intense scenes. And young boys and older boys are watching these things, and it's imprinted in their minds that, this is something that I should explore. This is something that I should replicate. And the songs we listen to, the girl is this, the girl is that. Forgive my non-rap skills, but The songs we hear, oh, the girl is this, the girl is that, the girl has this, the girl has that, the girl is doing like this, the girl is doing like that. And then little by little, is not, your mind is introduced to this world of not seeing ladies and women and girls for who they are. You start seeing them from that lens. You start seeing them from a very sexual, perverted lens. I'm not trying to preach, I'm not trying to accuse, I'm not trying to be judgmental, but I think many guys don't talk about this. These are the roots of their sexual escapades. And then we talk about pornography. How guys are introduced to it through movies, through songs, through their friend's phone. And then before you know it, you find yourself in this world of pornography. I'm going to use this word, and it's going to be very explicit, but it's something that I have to do because it's time someone is bold enough to speak. And then before you know, you they find themselves wanting to sort of like, there's what they call this thing in puberty, in in home economics class or something. um what's the word? It's an explicit word, but let me just refrain from it. The guys understand what I'm talking about, because we're not going to act all pure and our minds are. I don't do that here. We are talking about real life issues, and we are going to find a way to expose these things, and not just to expose it per se, to bring healing. Because I think it's time for healing in our world. We need some healing. We need our minds to what's the word? We need our minds to be conditioned back to the way they are supposed to be. Yes. And so men start getting into pornography, start getting addicted into pornography. They get so addicted that they can't stop. These are little imprints from relationships, from friendship association to peer pressure and so many other things that influence guys and just sexually abuse them. These are the things that men go through because they were never taught. They were never taught. Sorry about the cloth here. I just want to be honest here because I'm recording in my room and I don't want any fakery or some sort. Men don't talk about these things because who is going to listen to them? Who is going to help them heal? Who is going to who is the father figure that is brave enough to sit their son down and tell their son, you know what? This is actually what happens in the world we live in. And I want to tell you, and as your father, I want to teach you how to see it in the right way. In as much as you're a spiritual being, you're also a flesh being. People don't get that. We're so focused on the spiritual being that we forget the flesh being. We need fathers who are able to guide their sons, instructing them in these fleshy attributes, because some of them are biologically right, but they are perverted. So many of our men have been sexually abused, addicted to pornography, exploring the fornication world. Some of them, after a relationship, they get so heartbroken that they decide to really deal with women as a result of their heartbreak, and so they just sleep around and they sleep around and they sleep around. There's no counseling agencies for them to sit down and talk. Parents are not necessarily talking about these things because to parents, to most of the parents, this is a taboo thing. This is only a conversation that should be had with married folks. These are not conversations that should be had with young people that have passed their puberty and they are into the world, they're into secondary school world, primary school world, university world. They feel like these conversations should be only had with married folks and nothing concerns the single people. And so the world teaches them. The world teaches them. Since you refuse to have these conversations with them, the world teaches them how to pervert these fleshy attributes. And when the world teaches them, because you refuse to teach them as the parents, all of a sudden we are shocked that they're dealing with pornography and they're dealing with masturbation and they're dealing with sex escapades. Men need to be young boys, men. We need father figures. We need right father figures. That didn't sound right, but we need responsible father figures that can have honest conversations with their sons. Guide them through what should be done. Obviously, there are people that have guided their children through what should be done and they still go astray, but it is better to guide them than to leave them to be taught by the world. And then they end up with sexual addictions. They end up not seeing women for who they are, not seeing the female gender for what they are. They start seeing them through the lost lens, seeing them. This is 21 minutes. I don't want this to be long. They start seeing them through the perverted lens. And then we wonder why our boys and our men are so perverted. Many of them have been sexually abused. Many of them were influenced by it. Many of them were not even taught that this their flesh has its advantages and also has its disadvantages. I think I was listening to a message one time, and the young pastor was saying that many people were not taught that sex is God ordained. It was God's plan, although not initially, but it's still part of God's design. And so people don't know that. And so they want to exploit, not knowing that actually this is something that God wants you to do, but at the right time, in the right institution, in the respected covering of the sanity and the sanctity of marriage. Our boys have been so perverted that they even feel like marriage is not fun. It's not the world has so much so influenced our boys, sexually abused them, influenced them to the way that their mind has been so, it is so dark, and many of them don't even realize it. They think they are enjoying what they're doing, but they don't realize that their minds have been perverted, their minds have been blacked or blacked out, anyone. But I think this is going to be long, so pardon me, 23 minutes. Our boys didn't receive any guidance. Many of them didn't. All they were taught is be a provider, work in your school work, be successful, be a good husband, get married and have children. But make sure you are a provider and make sure you are a responsible son. They were not really taught other aspects of things. It's good to teach them those things. Those things are fine. I don't have any criticism. I don't have any um I don't have any problem with those things. But in as much as you're investing in them in that aspect, you should also invest in them in the other aspect that the world has high potential to teach them and pervert them wrongly in so many other things. it's so sad that we have so many men, even when the girl is dressing decently, the girl passes by and they cannot have self-control over their eyes to not look, even when she's decently dressed, talk less of when she's not decently dressed. The men in our world today, they don't have, and I don't blame them for all these things. They were not taught, they were not instructed. Even if they were, the instruction was, do this. If you don't do this, stay away from this. That's not how to instruct. At least to me, that's not how to instruct. I think there is. Let me tell you a story. So I had this friend who was, I think, dealing with this manly thing. I don't want to be so explicit here for certain reasons. So he told me that he went to his father and he told his father, Daddy, this is what I'm dealing with. And he told me that his father didn't judge him. His father didn't, you're a sinner. You've been hanging around these people. You've been perverted. Forgive my phone. I'm in my hostel. So the father instructed him kindly, generously, patiently, sensitively, if there's any word like that. He said his father guided him through that process carefully, with humility, understanding that this flesh is a real thing. It is not something that we so highlight the spiritual things that we are forgetting that the flesh is a flesh. This flesh is a flesh. Whether you are 18, whether you are 19, whether you are 17, whether you are 16, whether you are 15, whether you're even in your 20s, your 30s, this flesh is a flesh. We are not some superhero beings, but we are called higher. We are called higher to be more than our flesh. But still, the flesh is the flesh. And when he told me that his father did that to him, guided him through that process of struggling with, I don't want to say it now, but I'm sure some of the boys or the men here will understand what I'm saying. And so he told me, he said, my father did this for me. And I was so impressed. And in my mind, what came to mind then was how many fathers have created such an environment for their sons to walk up to them and say, Daddy, I'm struggling with this. How many fathers? The fathers in our generation is not something to write home about. I don't want this thing to be long, this 28 minutes. Our boys are perverted. Our boys are abused. Sexually influenced by friends. Getting into relationships where the woman, where the girl, where the lady is already sexually perverted. All these things, our music, our movies. I'm not trying to act all holier than thou because nobody is all of a sudden perfect, although we want to be like God in everything we do. Yes. And God said he will help us be that. But regardless, how many men, fathers can confidently say, you know what, I have created such an environment for my sons to be able to come up to me and discuss these things? How many? Many of the fathers in our day are smoking, drinking. Many of them are not even committed in their marriages. Many of them don't even talk to their sons. Forget about the sex talk now. They don't even talk to their sons. They don't even form a relationship with their sons. All you do is scold the son, tell him what to do. You've not even created that environment where your son can come up to you and say, Daddy, let's take a walk. Daddy, let's go out. Daddy, let's have fun. Daddy, let's talk man to man. You've not created that environment. All you're concerned about, you must be this, you must be this, you must be this, which is a good thing, by the way. I'm not a parent yet, so I'm not going to act like I know it all. I'm not. And I'm sorry if I'm being very disrespectful with my approach, but there are things I feel like should be spoken of. Hopefully, respectfully, I'm doing that. Little boys don't have nowhere to go, and these little boys have grown up to be men, perverted in their views of ladies, perverted sexually. Many of them don't even respect the marriages they are in already. They are cheating. If they're not cheating physically, they're cheating emotionally. Or they're cheating viewing different girls' pictures, or addicted to pornography, and so many young men don't even, we don't even have young men conferences where they can talk about the struggles they go through. We don't even have young men counseling sectors. We don't even have people who can guide our young men to live. This is 31 minutes, I'm sorry. I'll round up soon. To live in a responsible way with principles, dignity, and value. It's going to be hard, by the way, because we talk about principles, dignity, and value like it's something simple. It's not. It's a matter of killing this flesh, being resoluting within yourself that I am going to be better than what the world determines me to be. I am going to be a man of principle, a man of values, because I'm not just a boy. I'm not just a man. I'm a potential father. Or at least I'm going to be, because many people don't want to get married or give birth to children. You're not just a boy. You're not just a man. You're a potential father. You're a potential husband. You're a potential leader in your workplace. You're a potential living expression of the image of God. You're not just a boy. You're not just a man. There is more to your identity. As much as I'm a lady myself, I'm a potential mother, I'm a potential wife, I'm a potential sister, I'm a potential, I don't know how to put this word. Oh, they've brought lights. Yay! So I'm a potential helpmeet. Don't mind me that I'm laughing. I'm trying to put humor in this thing so that it doesn't get too guilt tripping. We need father figures, not just father figures that are just father figures, people with dignity, people with compassion, men with compassion, men with understanding, men with humility. That doesn't mean you're not going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. But men that realize they've made a mistake and want to take a U-turn to turn it around. Our men need counseling as much as our girls. Our men need counseling. Our men need more exemplary individuals with values and integrity. We have so many people talking about it, but we don't have so many people living it. And this is even a call to me personally, because I can't just be coming up here to talk about things. I have to live a life. What are we doing with our men? Our men are even taught not to even have a healthy emotional disposition. This is getting to 40 minutes. Maybe I'll round up 40 minutes. Our men don't even have healthy emotional disposition. Most of them are angry. Most of them have gone through trauma. Most of them didn't have a good childhood. Their husband, their father, I said their husband, their father was busy beating their mother, or their father had severe anger issues, drinking, smoking. not even providing for the home. They don't have that that father figure that is a man of integrity, a man of healthy emotional disposition. Our men don't have these things. The men that we are giving birth to and the men that are already, or the boys are already men now in our 21st century generation, our Gen Z generation. What are we doing? To be honest with you, what are we doing? What are we doing basically? I know I'm repeating it over and over again, but that should really strike you in your heart. What are we doing? What are we doing? And then when they begin to fool around, sleep around, smoke, drink, they don't have healthy emotional disposition. They are angry, they are violent, they are aggressive, they are authoritarian, if I'm pronouncing it well. They are impulsive. They don't want to listen to counsel. What have we done to our men? There's pornography, there's addiction, there is fooling around, there's fornication. As in, what have we done to our men? We need more conferences for our men. We need more individuals that will be parents. We need more father figures and also mother figures, because in as much as I'm laying it on the fathers, also the mother plays a role also. We need more mother figures, more father figures with sensitivity, who understand what it means to be a parent beyond giving birth to children, who understand compassion, sensitivity, who understand creating an environment for struggles to be expressed so that they can be tackled with. We need more role models. And not just role models, we need role models that are sensitive, that are humble, that have character, that are responsible, that embrace struggles and take it personal to them. I want to intervene. I want to find a way to bring forth a solution. Our men are perverted. Our men are broken. Our men are struggling. Our men don't, they feel like they can't express how they feel or what they're going through. I mean, it's just sad. And then we tell our girls, go and marry them because they have money. Money doesn't teach you how to be a parent. Yes, you provide definitely, but money doesn't teach you how to guide your children through healthy emotional disposition, through teaching them how to tackle their struggles. Money doesn't teach those things. And so we have women who are broken, girls who are broken, and we have men and boys who are broken and perverted. Both of them are perverted, both of them are broken, and then they come together and they build and they get married and they build on a home that the foundation is already rocky, and then you expect the marriage to work, and then you expect the marriage to all of a sudden, definitely there are miracle situations, but we need to help our men. I'm going to round off now. We need to think about these things. We really need to think about these things, and we really need to help our men. Counseling services should be provided. Parents should be sensitive. Friends should be chosen correctly, not just be friends with everybody and then they influence you wrongly. Even the society should be rebranded because we have pushed this sex agenda, pushed so many things. So let's think about it. I'll end it here. Maybe I'll talk more about it and the sexual abuse next time. So, but we need to think about these things. So, our men need help. They do. Our boys need help. So, I'm going to end it here. And thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for bearing my dress hanging, my shirt hanging there, and then my phone. Thank you. And hope you really think about these things. So, see you.